Well, guys, it's been an interesting road so far.
We're
The
almost
plot of the
halfway
show,
there.
halfway through the show, the plot's devolved into absolute garbage. There's an anger-inducing moment at least once in every episode, and to top it all off, the main character is dead. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Well, to be correct, we're almost halfway there. We just
I
have
have
to
a
go
que-
through this one, and then we'll be at the halfway point with the 7th episode.
But for
Do it.
now, we're doing the sting.
Jova, I asked this question in our No Country for Old Men playthrough, and I'll ask it again.
Watching.
If our main
Wait,
character,
No
if our main
Country for
character,
Old Men had a video game? Cool.
No, we watched the first time.
He
Go ahead,
called it a
Pedro.
playthrough.
if the main character is dead, then why is the show not over?
Well, to
Well-
be fair, Pedro Psycho did that. It's just a matter of quality overall of a product.
And let's think about it like this, guys.
The
There's
whole
so
point of the show was for Korra to,
Yeah, that
learn
is
to-
also that is also true.
well, Pedro. Let's think about it like this.
If
There are
you're gonna-
so many
imagine,
more.
Imagine if Noctis gets killed somewhere in Lucis, and then the game just keeps going, and the other three just go on without him.
I don't
That
know.
would only
Without-
work if
without
he
spoiling
wasn't supposed to be
Pedro,
the main character.
Without spoiling Pedro, that's kind of what happens at some point in the game, more
Well,
or less.
Not well. Again, we'll get to it. For now,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just.
I don't know
Okay.
what you're saying, guys. Clearly, Final Fantasy 15 was actually Prompto's journey in going from being the social outcast that he was to a fit,
No,
buff
no.
kid.
What are you talking about, Joe? Arden was a true hero all along. But anyway, let's go.
Everyone
Alright,
else was
so-
crazy. Arden was
I'm ready.
just the normal one.
So
Just-
start before the Nickelodeon logo, I guess.
Yeah.
All
Alright
right.
then. 3, 2, 1, click.
So, Dweebs, does this mean that the music for this episode is being done by Stuart Copeland?
I wish.
Now, okay, going back to the little character thing, I hate to say it, but even at this stage of the game, all joking aside, there are quite a few characters more interesting to follow
I'm-
than Korra.
I'm
like,
actually surprised. Well, Jova, well, I forgot if you saw this like as it went on.
I did.
I did.
Well,
I
okay,
did, yeah.
okay. At this point, how much of the audience was left?
Let me put it like
Not
this.
Not many.
I
Let me-
can see why.
Let me put it like this, Tio. A lot of fans were scrambling around to salvage what they could. Some fans were saying, "Oh, Korra's obviously going to come back." Some fans were saying,
that's for sure, obviously, because
Other-
well, not just because of the show, but because we're applying comic book logic to this.
"Okay, let me give you the Mickey here, basically."
Also, I know, it's fine, 1 second. I love how the recap had, like, no mention of Korra whatsoever.
Yes, Jova.
Hold on, we got a bombing here.
Um,
Oh no, this ship of people we know nothing about and have no reason to care is being bombed.
okay.
By
Oh, I'm guessing.
waterbenders.
Why?
Well, to be fair,
No.
Tio, this kind of thing happens in like, every heist
I'm
film
sorry,
ever.
I really need to reiterate. Why are waterbenders depicted as jackass in this particular series?
I
Not
guess
just book 2, like book 1 as well.
To make up for firebenders being the ones in that aspect in the original series, I guess.
That's the thing. Like I said, in book 3, it was pretty established that all of the Fire Nation were jerks. Here instead, it's the inverse process. It's like saying that the
Hold on, I think it's now. Hold on, too. There's gonna be a line
Sorry.
here that I really want to.
Hello.
Hey,
If I remember
Unalaq.
correct-
My shower of light is complete.
Okay, yeah, here you go.
Oh, this
I think-
bitch.
if I remember correctly, one of the most baffling lines to me in the entire series is gonna show up now. I think.
An eater.
Yeah. James and the Giant Peach joke. Moving on.
Well, it's a good job she wasn't in the
So-
Avatar state at the time.
Well, so yeah, Tarlock. Sorry, not Tarlock. Unalaq told us that he needed Korra to open up.
we're
the
not there
Star
yet.
portals. So I guess the series is done. We can't move forward past this.
Actually, Pedro, remember, he said in episode 4, he only told her what he wanted her to think.
How convenient.
Propaganda.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bolin is the boulder in
Yeah, no,
Yes.
the Amber Island players episode was funnier than this. Sorry.
Nothing like that.
To be fair,
I know what they're trying to emulate, but since it's black and white and everything, they should have tried to emulate the silent movie and having the characters not being able to be heard,
Yeah.
and instead with the text
But I
band.
think
Yeah,
it was at
but-
this point where they only really starting to have talking in movies.
But go full the
Aw.
artist on us. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Aw.
It creates this. My main problem with this subplot is that I don't find it particularly all that funny. I mean, it's not terrible or anything like that. Don't get me
It's
wrong.
also
It's just
the
that
timing, I fear.
it's just the comedy is very by the numbers. There's nothing all that witty about it. It's just the kind of joke you would see.
It's trying to be the theater episode from The Last Airbender, but it's falling flat.
Shirai, this isn't them trying to do that. They'll get
No,
something
it's
like...
not.
I know.
recap,
There's one later that goes full on with that, but I mean, still, this is.
Let me put it like this. If this were used, like, say, in a similar guise as the Emperor Employers, which was more of a
Sorry,
recap,
what?
this would be more interesting. But here, it's just the propaganda. And you know what? I can appreciate it for that, if only because it does... Of
You kind of got lost with the metaphor. At least you lost me.
But don't worry, Teo. Just lose yourself in Varrick's charm.
You're going to manipulate the people with the power of film.
I mean, hey, it's worked in previous wars.
Yeah. Propaganda really is powerful, dweebs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they could have done instead of having the generic black and white stuff. How about an homage to Flash Gordon? That would have been,
Well, this tries to be more like the peplum kind of genre, like Jason and the Argonauts.
That's part of the joke, Lips.
Well, to be fair,
I'm surprised there's no stop motion.
also Dweeb's very olden days. Back then, those effects were considered top of the line.
You see, Lips. This entire thing is being directed by Uwe Boll. Sorry, it's not Uwe Boll. It's not Ed Wood. Sorry.
I can see the people who animated this actually did their homework in terms of homaging the old style of movies. I fear, though, it's just wasted due to a series of reasons chaining to each other and being unfortunately implied in this.
Let me put it like this. This is a trope that split...
We don't have español.
Okay, okay, we could spend the time in this episode, actually getting back to the plot,
Of course, she's the classic. She's a copy carbon of Angelina Jolie's fish in Shark Tale, of course.
Oh, Mr. Varrick, the plot has just come to us.
We don't
Yeah,
want
I was
the
going to
plot.
say, does anyone even know or care that Korra is quote unquote dead?
Nope.
Actually, they don't even know where she is, I think.
If the show doesn't care about its main character, why the hell should I?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's
Of course.
Korra in a picture.
Mako,
Mate, you're better off
she's
without
not
her.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that it was an abusive relationship and you were getting the short side of a stick.
You know, he actually just started to grow out of it with this season. But that's a whole nother can of worms later. Okay, basically, now, Tio, allow me to go back to your original question as to how the fans were around the time here. Fans were scrambling for what they could get at this point. Some fans were outraged that Korra was supposedly dead. Others knew she was going to come back. Most people found that this could have been something of a break for her. But if there's one thing everyone was, it was just pretty much annoyed at how her plot wasn't really going anywhere.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can
she
see
was
that
at her
too.
absolute worst. And I'll say this right now without getting too much ahead of myself. It may have gotten so bad that the creators may have been made aware of that, and that'll become quite apparent by the end of this episode.
Please don't tell me the show goes full Teen Titans Go and try to criticize the people who criticize them.
Thankfully not.
I actually have I was actually going to say something different. Is it a case of where they quote unquote kill Korra, and then when they bring her back, she's a different character?
Oh, like
You'll
Brian
see.
Griffin, you mean?
You'll see.
Mm.
See,
There is another character I have in mind, but I'm not going to mention who they are
You'll see.
for spoiler reasons. Yeah.
Let's just say, Shiroi, the plot is gonna completely stop dead in its tracks for the 2 episodes after this one.
Present evidence.
Wow, remote
It looks-
detonators existed back then. But but we've seen in the original series that you can fake bending. So who's to
It's
say
clearly
not
the
case
guy
here?
there with the trench coat. How less obvious can it be?
You know, I just have to ask this question.
There's being blind to ignorance, and then there's get the fuck out.
You know, I just have this question to ask. Who the heck force-fed Lin Beifong the stupid pills off screen? Okay, Lin, you've known Mako for well enough the first season. Mako is one of the reasons that Republic City was saved from Amon, and you don't maybe think to trust him on this.
Isn't it a situation maybe where she has her hands tied and she just having
See,
to play along?
they're laughing even.
Jesus Christ.
I wish, Tio, but here's the thing. She's just a stereotypical, you're just a rookie, and don't plug your nose into stuff that doesn't involve
I don't believe you. Yeah.
That's the thing. What happened to Lin? Lin was the officer who actually
kind of-
thought outside
this
the
kind of
box. She was...
cliches like this, or the lie revealed, or the pointless bickering for love triangle, exist only to artificially augment the length of a product. I have barely saw anything that actually used them to the plot's advantage.
This is part of
And
the...
look, I get
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, Shiri?
No, go ahead.
I get that sometimes characters need to hold the idiot ball for a little bit, but when you have a character that's been established to be, pretty smart by all things considered, don't give them the idiot ball and don't make them hold it for like an entire episode, please.
Let me put it like
Also,
this.
that
Lin-
line. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Joe. I have to comment on that line. Lungang are idiot. I hate them and their stupid mustaches. Who wrote this? A 10-year-old?
Yeah.
Most
Anyway,
likely.
Baldy McNose hair.
hey.
hate them.
I actually
I
like
hate-
Baldy McNose here. At least that one has some wit behind it. Mako's was just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, Sonic Colors, that kind of stuff is a comedic line, and Colors was meant to be a comedy.
Let me put...
Well,
hate
I
them
mean,
and
it's the
their
first line that
It's
came
also-
to my head
Anyway,
after that.
It's not so much that, Webs. The problem is that
Anyway.
this show is not meant to be a lighthearted comedy, so it doesn't work here. Go ahead.
I
Yes,
mean-
Pedro?
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't mind the show having comedy. I mean, it's taking notes from
Oh, yeah.
Avatar. I mean, the comedy is fine or whatnot. That joke was just stupid. But anyway, here's the thing. Lin Beifong was pretty much the equivalent to Phoebus from the Hunchback of Notre Dame franchise. She was the one in authority who you thought would be stereotypically evil, but actually turned out to be that high authority figure who actually looked between the lines and was clever. Yet in the sequel, they dumbed down to being the exact kind of stereotype you were fearing they'd be. Like, again... It's like season 1 didn't happen. It's like Lin barely recognizes Mako. Speaking of barely recognizing, you may have noticed how Eska, who was in a raids the last 2 episodes, yeah, she's perfectly back to normal now.
Yeah.
I guess. Despite the fact that
because-
Bolin still left her at the altar, because I'm sure that's something a woman would get over A-okay just fine. Am I right, ladies?
Because plot consistency is overrated, I guess.
There's only the fact. There's also the fact that we don't know how much time has passed in a lot of things.
Space and time are bendable too.
I'm gonna say that also the original show had, even though in a lighter way, these kind of problems where outside of specific moments, I didn't knew how much time was passing in Aang's journey.
Okay, that was funny. Hey,
But the
Mom.
problem is
If you
actually
think
more.
we did, we didn't do it.
But considering the events are more serious here, I kind of need a time frame for this.
It's pretty
honestly-
implied, Theo, that each season in the original series is a year, basically.
Jay, that's the funny thing, Jay. I thought he was gonna ask for like, what's the password?
Okay, admittedly, part of the reason okay, maybe they did tell us the duration of time, but they've only mentioned it once. This is part of the issue. See, the original Avatar show was pretty much a continuous story. All you needed to know is that the war had been going on for a long time, but in regards of when events happened in relation to one another, well, you could pretty much just walk them back to back, and even still...
that's like the kind of guy we can trust, right?
Totally.
Well, to be fair, they're out of options. Basically, the deal is this. If the Triple Threat Triads help give them protection from anyone possibly trying to take Varrick's next shipment, basically, they will give to them back their bending, which was taken by Amon. Hey, something from the first season.
What?
Bada
The
bing,
power
bada
to
boom.
restore bending.
Is
Well,
that a
that's
racist
because-
caricature or not? It's hard to tell.
That's more just a
It
gangster
doesn't
thing.
have freakishly large teeth, so still no.
Anyway, in returns to getting their bending back, that's where Korra comes in handy.
But she's dead, so...
They don't know.
Yeah, turns out desk flipping is kind of a...
Why would you have to know?
Yeah, it's not really any of your business, Asami.
Although, who would want to be with Korra? Honestly, like, jeez.
I could accidentally step on her toe and she'd break my elbow.
That's my joke, Dwibs.
Or better yet, you could accidentally step on her toe and she'd break
I'm
your
sorry, what are you doing?
You stepped on my toe, and I must destroy you.
You know...
Hey, actually, speaking of that, Jova, I just realized Korra and Sherman would be perfect for each other.
Just throw it in, come on.
Yeah. I don't think this acting thing's working out for Bolin.
Yeah, I never seen one of those old movies.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's actually an homage to how it kind of happened.
Yeah.
Or, like, just randomly making up the plot.
I mean, don't get me
wrong. Throwing in something like a kiss because it was felt more genuine.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This subplot is nothing amazing.
Bolin, no.
Ginger the character.
Yeah, Ginger the actress, Ginger the character.
That's Gingerist.
Also, dude, you're the weird one here.
Of course, she has a beauty mark. Of course.
Dude, what is up with people in this show being like, you kissed me, and I can totally tell you.
Can we not do this, please?
I don't know, Shiri. See, the whole six toes things never really struck me as body horror. I know there's a bit of uncanny valley to it, but I've seen worse.
Bolin, you are on... Sorry, not Bolin. Mako, you are on the sea. These kind of things take a while.
Something's a bit up, though.
I don't know, Mako. For some reason, despite having a limited number of episodes, we're still doing filibustering.
Actually, this isn't filler.
Let's loudly announce that. This... Me. There you go. You could have at least tried to say that more privately.
As you know...
Do it in
the middle of the studio.
I think I'm kind of getting this. One of the major problems of this season. It's
the opposite of season 1.
No. It's by the plot points are done by the book. They're way too obvious to the point of resenting stupidity.
Yeah, I can see where you're going for with that. Like, well, it's...
there you go. What you gonna do?
Don't use fire, you'll burn the boat.
It's a metal boat.
A boat. It's a metal boat.
But there's wooden planks.
So yeah, that.
And now we have a bone chasing, of course.
Yeah, what's the point?
You know, it's
also it's night.
Okay, Mako, rule number 96. Aim.
Oh, it's a water. Oh, of course, it's a water bender.
Yeah, remember from the fight scene he had with Korra?
I don't even remember this guy. Honestly.
Yes. Oh, don't you remember? See, those are the gangsters from when Korra first came to town in the first episode.
Oh, they're the same ones.
Yep, the Triple Threat Triads.
Hello, greetings everyone, and welcome to the Legend of Korra Speedboat.
You remember, Tio, the Triple Threat Triads, the same game that Mako and Bolin used to be in when they were down on their luck, orphans, and all that jazz, who Korra also ran into, and I can't blame you for forgetting because, yeah, a lot of other stuff kind of got forgotten until season 1 until now.
We're doing this. Must go faster, must go faster.
Gotta go fast, gotta go fast, gotta go fast.
What? Yeah, see what I mean? This is just by the book.
Yeah.
It's either a synonymous of laziness or time constraint. I'm not sure which specific is here or a combination.
Oh, nice try.
Those two, Teo, and lack of imagination.
Well, to be fair, they have imagination. Dear Lord, you need imagination for what's to come.
See,
But
this
it's
is actually
misguided.
more like it. Actually, one boat, ramming into the other, and I mean, that's actually a more spark to it. Oh, jeez,
And his back's probably broken in
Broke.
half.
we're using cartoon logic, libs. Oh no,
Uh-oh.
That close-up was so awkward.
Asami Knuckles.
Why? What are they gonna do? Blow up the theater of the Bolin?
Oh, snap. Future Industries.
They just stole all the armors.
Oh no, she
What's
hasn't
with
got
the
a
close-up?
business anymore.
It's dramatic.
What a surprise!
character
Trusting a
arc.
clearly shady guy was a bad move.
Why would you keep your stock all in just one warehouse?
A lot of businesses tend to do that. I mean, might not be the best idea considering, the current climate, but,
Yeah, you see, Marco's at least trying his hardest to overcome. Oh,
Moment of tension.
they're doing
libs.
this again.
She's very
Remember-
stressed because of what's just going on.
Remember, Shiroi, at this point, this is basically a soap opera.
Well, here's the thing.
Seriously.
You know,
This is
there,
exactly the kind of thing you would see in soap operas.
there is one thing, though, when you think about it. Mako and Asami did have a relationship. Oh, there we go. Mako and Asami did have a relationship going on until Korra butted in on things, so you have to wonder if there's still feelings between the two. Right?
no Toad.
I like how that was. It wasn't. I don't know what you're talking
That's
about. It was just
actually-
like I really don't know.
That's actually what I'm asking more like. This Jason Todd behavior. It really fits Mako.
Yeah, again, see, we're actually fleshing Mako out more. As soon as Korra's out of the picture.
Basically, he's doing the whole, where are your friends? I don't know. Tell me or I'll kill you.
Get out of here.
Do I look like a cop?
Oh,
Well, actually, I am a cop, so wait.
yeah, for a second I thought Bolin
Bolin.
was dressed up as one of them.
Excuse me.
Bolin.
Who's the
Yeah,
guy?
this is another problem I have with this subplot. As a consequence of this subplot, Bolin is basically useless at this point.
Not only that, he's becoming very lazy and arrogant.
Yeah, well, this is one of my more favorite plot points. I did forget I don't like what they do with Bolin up until the end of it.
I'm guessing it's a fame going to his head kind of
Oh, no.
nonsense.
Yes.
Yeah, because those
We're turning this movie into a Michael Bay product.
Well, it depends, Dwebs. It depends on how it's done. I mean, Citizen Kane did it well. It's just that it depends on the problem. Is
I
that
tried
this,
to see this.
I'm coming for you.
this is not even funny. It's just silly.
Wait, Mako?
Huh?
What are you thinking?
Oh no! Oh no! Wait! He's going to talk
Oh,
about...
we did that.
I'm sorry.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. I was having a flashback.
Wait, I'm sorry. Like, don't tell me. Oh no!
It was
Jova,
Varrick all along.
Don't tell me Varrick is the villain of the season.
I'm just gonna let you wait and watch.
My God, you can't. I can't just enjoy things, can I?
Oh,
I mean, there is. I mean, that mustache is. Come on.
I mean, I'm honest, guys. I'm really, really trying here. I don't want to give up on this show. I swear.
You're basically Jova for this series.
But that's the thing. Like I said, if I got angry at the first series, it's because I cared a lot. But here, it's because I want to care.
Also,
and
the
I want
ominous
to
lighting
right.
as well.
Hey, Korra.
Hey,
oh, there's the
Korra.
main character, and that was 22
Let me get-
minutes.
It just ends here.
Someone
Not
poke her with her
quite.
stick.
Or do that.
Who are you?
I am. The
It's
Fire Nation.
raping time.
This show doesn't need that.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Maybe you could have done that without surrounding.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Really?
Ladies and
Amnesia?
gentlemen, welcome
I
to...
got-
like I said, a fucking checklist.
I gotta say, Tio, I love how we both timed what we said perfectly.
High
Well,
five, I guess.
Tio, if you thought it wasn't like Metroid Prime enough, well, this is the part where Korra's character becomes a blank slate to now properly retool.
Oh my god.
So yeah, they're getting
Joshua
rid of her to
Hamilton.
completely rewrite her character.
Okay. Honestly,
Jesus.
I honestly do have to wonder, considering how at some point there was a delay in the episodes, I do have to wonder if the outrage against Korra
Rewrites,
was so
yeah.
loud enough that they
Rewrites.
rewrote it
This
because...
clearly
yeah.
feels like a rewritten episode that actually derailed the plot into another direction.
And while eventually it does get us... Actually, no. You know what? To be fair, no. I'm not even going to credit this for giving us Season 3 and 4, which are better. Like, as far as I know, with or without this, we would have gotten Seasons 3 and 4. I mean, technically, yeah, it's going to get Korra better, but it really does sadly feel like one of those end-of-the-line last resort things you only resort to when, yeah, you done screwed up bad. But, okay, in regards to Varrick, I'll just say it like this, Tio. Whether or not
He's very clearly the bad guy.
Let me put it like this.
Even as a mustache, I should have seen this.
Let me put it
Yeah,
like
again, the ominous lighting and everything and the smirking. It's like, come on.
Let me put it like this to you. Whether or not he's the villain, don't expect it to be the end for him. That's all I'm going to say.
Sure.
All right.
Let me put it like this. If it were the end for him, like, say, Luke Atme or Darian Christian, I would probably have given up on this show.
I'm close to giving up now.
I'm also kind of imagining what his motive may be, but I'll mention this in the next episode.
That too. Anyway, my thoughts on this episode. This episode to me was middle of the road. There was some good, there was some bad. However, the thing that I'll admit, when I first saw this, I was really dreading the fact that they're making Varrick the bad guy because it just seems too obvious. Like, yeah, I can think of a few motives here and there, but it just feels too obvious. Also, the blatant, all of a sudden making him look suspicious thing, that was just silly. I mean, okay, the mystery now that Mako is trying to solve does get more interesting, and hey, they're finally fleshing Mako out as a character now that he doesn't have Korra weighing him down. It's just the baggage attached. It hurts.
It hurts, man.
So Korra going away for a while wasn't for the better, really.
Oh, it may have been, depending on who you asked. I mean, let's think about it like this.
I mean, for me, so far, no.
Yeah.
I need to see where this actually goes.
I know there's one more episode without her, so yeah.
I'm gonna say this, Jova. If this makes her a legitimately better character, I'm not asking for a miracle. I'm asking just at least for a bit. If this makes her for a better character than she was before she was eaten, I might as well try again. You know.
Okay.
I know that this will.
Should have done this from the start.
Although, I know that it's basically the writers admitting that they fucked up. But at the very least, they actually tried to make things for the better instead of just sticking to the guns, to the bad guns, and actually keep ruining things.
Okay, I won't spoil anything. I'll just give my thoughts on it. What will come does make her a better character. The problem is everything surrounding her gets worse, as if it's to accommodate. So yes, technically it does make Korra better as a character. How much? That'll be up to you to judge.
Alright.
So yeah, that was the sting.
As for the episode itself, I'll be extremely quick because the main thing that I already mentioned is the fact that almost all the elements of this episode are like a checklist. It's like you can see them coming from a mile away, and they're painful.
Let's see, we got the cop who nobody believes, the rookie who everyone thinks is out of his
shady
league.
People who Asami and Mako still trust, and they clearly turn out to be shady. And now a likable character that was likable being supposedly turned evil for no reason.
And that's the thing, I had heard, I'm almost certain that they're talking about this character specifically, but of a character who becomes the villain seemingly out of nowhere. I really don't like this.
It can be done well, but even still, it can be annoying, even if it's done
similar,
well.
Well, Joe can understand me. It's similar to Maxwell Lord from the DC universe.
I mean, if it were,
I don't want to drag this too long. Go ahead. Viz.
I mean, I don't really mind people doing that kind of stuff. Like, say, for example, there was a good guy character, but life kept screwing them over to the point where they start getting so desperate for something good to happen, they start lashing out and causing bad stuff to happen around them and even to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And
Elsa?
I'm not sure.
Well, she was originally supposed to be the villain.
I'm not sure what stuff's done that, but I'll have to see. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with Tio on this one. If I weren't commentating on it with you guys, I'd have dropped the show by this point.
I can't blame you. Again, the main thing that kept me going on for this season was Varrick.
Yeah, now they're fucking him up.
Well, I'll just say this without
We'll see where
spoiling.
it goes.
The fact that I stuck around should be something of an indicator, but that's for later.
Considering you try your best to believe in something, I'm not sure that is.
Sure,
I'm sorry.
Sure. You've seen me drop some things before.
True.
All right.
We'll then. So tune in for the next episode, which is a two-parter. Because, ladies and gentlemen,
Yay.
the next episode is Beginnings.
Wait, we're restarting the series over? Fuck.
Sort of.
Yes, they're not just rewriting Korra, they're a show.
Tune in next time.
See ya.
See ya.